Hello, viewers. You are welcome to today's episode of Youth Empowerment Series. I have two beautiful ladies joining us for today's discussion. I have Dr. Amma Mensah. She is a public health nurse at the Pram Polyclinic. Doctor, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Doc.
Thank you. I also have with me Theodora Abaka. Theodora is a principal community health nurse and currently pursuing her degree in public health nursing at the Wisconsin University. Theodora, you are welcome.
Thank you, Doc.
We don't have Esther joining us today. She has some emergency. She will join us in our next episode. Esther, wherever you are, greetings to you. Ladies, you are welcome once again. My name is Dr. Sheila Dery Laapo. I'm a public health physician specialist. I will be moderating this series. Today's topic is effects of internet, social media, and screens on our youth and adolescent development, as well as their well-being. We all know that internet and social media are here to stay. We are in a digital world and our youth are online most of the time. We want to help them know how to stay safe online and also know how to harness the benefits of these technologies and tools whilst minimizing their negative effects. So this is a little background to what we'll be discussing today. Without wasting much time, let's look at the first item on the table. The first item we want to look at is the benefits of these tools and technologies. So what are some of the benefits of internet, social media, and screens? And when we talk of screens here, we are talking about things like television, the desktop, and all the smart gadgets. They are part of the screens we want to look at. Television is part. So we're looking at the internet, we're looking at the social media, which are the technologies, and we want to look at the tools that are used with these technologies, because we can't talk about one and leave the other. They all go together. So what are some of the benefits? I will start with Amma, as usual. Amma, please tell us some of the benefits of these technologies and tools.
Thank you very much, Doc, for having me. I believe that the last time we met, we spoke extensively on mentorship, and I believe the feedback has been great so far. So today, like you said, we're talking about the impact that tech has on our youth or the adolescents. And I just as you said in your intro, internet or social media is playing a very vital role. It has become an integral part of us, especially with the adolescents. It's like in our modern day life, we need the internet to survive, basically. And then so I would want us to look at the definition of internet. If you are someone that is new to this space, we'll talk about internet. We are talking about the global network that connects computers, devices, just so we can have access to information, communicate with each other, and also provide services online using the online platforms that we've been using. Example is the Facebook, the X or Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. These are the social media platforms. So they are the online platforms that we can use to create content, to consume content, and to interact with each other. Like I said, I made mention of the fact that it can help us to have access to information. And so the first benefit that I would want us to look at is the access to information when it comes to the benefits of internet or social media. In that now you don't have to go to the big libraries for you to have access to information. You can go to YouTube. You can basically have information in your hand. You can go to Google. Now AIs are in our faces. You can do your research. And so it's doing us a lot of good. And then also when it comes to connection, once upon a time we used to wait at the phone booth or wait for our friends or family members living abroad to have money to buy card before we could speak to them abroad. But now we can speak to people on on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on Facebook. And so we can now have access to connect to family and friends and even to communicate, and also for skills development. I intentionally placed my mannequin here just so when I'm speaking, I'll speak with facts. When you want to now, whatever you want to learn, you can have it on the internet. When you go to YouTube, I learned how to sew on the internet from YouTube. And when I tell people, they are amazed. And that is to tell you that the internet or the social media is very powerful now. Whatever you want to learn, you can go online and you can have access to it. And then now when we take a look at these influencers on Instagram, on Facebook, these socialites, gone were the days that when a brand needed someone to influence or serve as an ambassador, they would have to go and sign deals, big deals with the traditional celebrities. But now, by virtue of these creatives online, you just have to look for one that resonates with your brand's goals and aims, and then sign them on, and they will be marketing your products or they'll be selling your brands for people to have access to. Then career opportunities to LinkedIn. I always say that LinkedIn, everybody's a professional there. When you go there, you would see a lot of people with long profiles, and that is they selling themselves just so when any career opportunities arise, they would find themselves in that filter. I can mention when it comes to the benefits of the internet or technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amma. Theodora, take a bite.
Yes, talk. Okay. As Amma said a lot about the benefit of internet and social media. I also say that it exposes them to scholarship benefits. Students or adolescents can do research on apply for scholarships and they'll get it there, because physically you might not find any opportunity like that. But when you go to the net, there are a lot of opportunities for you to find the schools, and if you can do some of the courses online. Without internet, we cannot do some of the courses. When COVID came, for instance, a lot of schools and a lot of courses were done on the internet, and we realized that it has come to stay. I think COVID showed us the way that we have to adjust that and accept that internet is a way that we can do something without traveling miles to meet someone in person. We can do some of the things online.
Okay, right. Okay. So you've said a lot of the benefits. I just want to add a few. I want to talk about the basic benefits. I mean, I think you both touched on it. I think you people talked about information, and yes, we communicate through via the social media and internet, via our gadgets. We communicate, keeping in touch with family. We are able to do that through these technologies. For socializing, as Theodora said, when COVID came, a lot of things came to light. We realized that we don't have to go to people physically, even to socialize. Now we could stay online and still socialize with our friends. And also for monitoring health status. I think there are these smart watches that people use, and it's able to monitor their BP pulse and all that heart rate. So these are some of the benefits technology has brought to us, and we cannot overlook that. So aside these benefits, we all know that there are some challenges or negative effects these technologies sometimes pose to us. Let's look at some of the negative effects, potential negative effects of these technologies. Amma, let me start with you again.
Okay, so like every other thing in this world, everything has its benefits and its disadvantages, or advantages and disadvantages. And the internet happens to also have its negative impacts or side effects or disadvantages. In fact, if not guided well, it would rather disservice you more than it's providing the service that you need, because social media or the internet is posing a lot of pressure on the youth especially. And so when we are looking at the negative impact or the disadvantages, mental health issues is on the rise now because of the kind of things that the internet is push it down our throats. People are giving us lifestyles that are not so real. They're always projecting the good things for us to think that life is all about the goodies, you know. And so these young ones, when they go on online and they see these things, they become anxious, some become depressed, and even some are being bullied, and sometimes some are being sexually abused online. And so it is posing a lot of mental health issues. And also, like I said, when the internet or technology is not managed well, you can also build addiction. And addiction, just like any other substance, it becomes very difficult for you to do away with it. And it can even have an impact on your academic performance because you are so addicted to social media, you are not even using it to learn, you are always on it, you don't have screen time and all that. And so by the time you realize, I always say this, you can't serve two masters at the same time. It is either you're serving the internet or you are serving your books. And so if you choose one over the other, then definitely the one that you magnified will give you the results that you need. And so when students are addicted to the internet or technology, it has an impact on their academic performance and thereby creating addiction as well. And also sleep disruption. Now, sleep is in such a way that the moment you give it a pattern, it will follow. And so if you are the type that is always on your phone and you sleep around 11, or maybe intermittently during your sleep, you wake up and you go on TikTok around 2 a.m. and you are scrolling, by the time you realize it is 5 a.m. and you wake up with puffy face and all that. And people will think you are so tired, but it just means that you didn't give yourself the enough sleep that your body needed. And so it can also have a way of disrupting your sleep. And also, if you don't sleep, we all know that we can't cheat nature. If you don't sleep, but definitely it would also have an impact on physical health. And so it has this trickling effect whereby if you don't manage it well or use it well, it can also have an impact, a negative impact on your physical health. And also, because now we are so used to everybody being on their phone, sometimes you go out with friends and everybody's on their phone. Everybody is chatting, everybody is doing video, everybody is watching videos, consuming some sort of content. And so we now have a reduced face-to-face interaction, which can go a long way to affect the way we live with people. And also the content that we consume, some are very harmful, some are so not good. Sometimes the verbal abuse that goes on there, sometimes the kind of videos that people show are so not wholesome. And so if not guided, your child can consume this harmful content, and by the time you realize, people are abusing them sexually online without your knowledge. And so these are some of the negative impacts or the disadvantages of technology or the internet that I can raise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that insight. Theodora, let's hear from you.
Yeah, Amma has said most of them. I would like to add on to what she has said. Yeah, so with the addiction, most of the youth spend their time all day on the phone, especially on vacation. So this is the time where her data is finished. What would she do? Her mom is not giving her money or her or him money. What will he do? So it's either he will steal to go and buy data to watch whatever she wants to watch. And also with the internet to social isolation, some of the youth can be isolated that they won't get close to anybody. And when it becomes like that, they are not able to express their emotions when they have issues. They will quell themselves and rather find results or solutions from the internet. They are trying to see people who have gone through that situation to also try to help them solve their issues too. And you might not get the right information that you want. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me add on some of the negative impacts. Maybe you've said it, but let me also. So we have things like cyberbullying. People are online and they are being bullied, body shaming them because some people feel they have more nicer shape and other people don't have the perfect shape they perceive to be the norm they are looking for. So this can lead to emotional trauma and mental health issue, as Amma said. People are being trolled online. People are being given all kind of names. We also have people taking up relationship online relationship, which is one of the things that don't help a lot of youth. So you get a young person meeting someone, a stranger online, and then decide to start a relationship with a person. At the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't go well. Some of these young people, research shows that there's one article I read that sometimes some of these young people, both girls and boys, will sneak out and meet these strangers face to face, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
So you have your adolescent girl or boy who has met a friend online that he or she has never seen before you. She doesn't know the person, but arrange, you have no idea, and they decide to meet the person at your blind side, maybe during holidays. Yeah, you are not home and they meet the person. And this can be dangerous because in the process, people can be killed, they can be kidnapped, they can be raped in the process, all because they took one dangerous step. And we all know the consequences of rape or even sex that is probably not protected, that could lead to these STDs, HIV, unwanted pregnancy, and all that we can think of. So these are some of the harmful effects or negative effects that social media, internet pose to our young ones. So just an addition to what you have stated. Let's look at the next item, which is how can our young ones prevent or minimize these negative effects? How can our young ones, so in this case, we are looking at measures that our young ones can take or should take, precautions that they should take to prevent or minimize. If they cannot, if it cannot be prevented 100%, but at least it should be minimized. The negative effect should be minimized on them. What are some of the measures they could take? Amma, as usual.
Okay, so I would say that it's all about discipline. Okay, I can mention the screen breaks and all that, but personally, I have implemented those screen times on my phone before to streamline the way I use these platforms. And I realized that you need discipline because it's not something that you can't go back to change. And so even if you would put in place screen time limits and all that, you need self-discipline. You need to know the reason why you are online in the first place. And so discipline is the first thing that I would encourage all the adolescents or the youth to have when it comes to managing the negative impact of technology. Discipline, you need that a lot. And then also, like I said, you can set some screen time where maybe you can do the settings on your phone and say that, okay, maybe when I'm on WhatsApp for like an hour, log me out for like maybe 2 hours so that I can use that for other productive, activities. So you can set some screen time for yourself to be able to become productive. And also you need to take breaks. You need to take breaks from social media. Let's say if you are learning in school, you can use social media or the internet as a reward when you've, let's say, learned for some number of hours. So let's say you can use you can set up a rule for yourself that, okay, if I learn for 2 hours, I'm going to reward myself with maybe 20 minutes online. So you can use that to also manage the negative impact. And also, it'll be very important for you to be mindful of the contents that you consume. There are a lot of contents that, one thing I've realized about algorithms is that the more you consume a particular content, it tells the algorithm that you are interested and you want more of that particular content. And so you would see it on your feed a lot of times. So algorithms monitor the kind of content that you want and they will feed you with it. And so you need to be very careful. I realized that especially on TikTok, when you swipe quickly on certain content, you don't get that often. And when you don't press like on certain content, they don't show it to like, you see like 3 or 4 times and then you swipe, you would realize that they wouldn't give you those content again. And so you should be very mindful of the kind of content that you press like, share, and all that. When they realize that you like these things, they would feed you more. So you need to be very mindful. And also sometimes we need that long break from social media, which is sometimes almost impossible, but then we can always try and give ourselves break and engage ourselves in offline activities, which are very helpful, very healthy. Like when you are swimming, I like to swim. I can't play football. The only athletic activity I can do is to swim. But there are people who can play football, who can, play tennis or worry and all that, ludo and all those things. You can engage yourself in these ones, and they even make you smarter. One thing I realized about these activities, offline activities that we used to play or engage ourselves in, is that it makes you so smart. And so when you take that long break, you can engage or involve yourself in these offline activities. And I believe that it can help you to manage the negative impact that technology or the internet have on you as an adolescent or youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Theodora, what did you find?
Okay. All right. So we should also let the adolescents know that they should be selective about who they follow or interact on Facebook or online. Someone sent you a friend request and you don't have any mutual friend with him or her, and you accept the person. So at least me, most of the time I check around 5 mutual friends before I can accept someone's friend request, or I know you personally. So we should educate and teach adolescents to be selective about whom they follow on social media. And also, when they spend more time on their phone, maybe they can prompt their parent that, be checking up on me. Maybe I'll spend so much time on my phone. Maybe when I spend an hour or 2 on my phone, maybe come and take the phone from me so that I can. If not, other than that, too, we can involve ourselves in physical activities like reading, going for sport. And one thing that maybe a parent can help an adolescent to go online is monitor what their adolescents are watching online. So with this, it will help minimize the negative effects on the adolescents.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's true. So I'll add on a few. I would like to advise these young people to stick to the purpose for which they go online. Because people set out to go and maybe study or do some research for their assignment or academic work. You set out and you go online and then be disciplined, as Amma said, because it takes a lot of discipline to get out of these unnecessary webs. And also not to follow unknown links, because you are there to research on something, then an unknown link pops on your screen. You don't have to click that link because you don't know what it's about. Most of the time, they end up clicking and it takes them to another site that eventually sway them from the purpose for which they went there to learn or to research on whatever they were. So they should not click on unknown links. They should also learn not to share their private information with strangers online. I'm saying strangers because when we go online, Facebook, for instance, as Theodora, you rightly said, there are a lot of unknown friend requests that are sent to us. For me, yes, you don't know the person. If you have a mutual friend, excuse my language, and so what? If I know Amma, and Amma is my friend, and you are Amma's friend, it must you be my friend? And do you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, it's not I don't know you. So we should limit that. I know Facebook will keep bringing you people that you have something similar. Sometimes you look at the similarity and it's like you are all staying in Accra. Sometimes that's what they just say. You are all, Accra is big. So if we are all staying in Accra, must the person be my friend? No. So we want to advise our youth to avoid accepting it doesn't. There's no reward in having a lot of friends, online friends that you don't know. There's no reward in that. It's rather distract you from or distract them from their focus. So they should avoid sharing private information and family information. Some young people go as far as sharing their nude or semi-nude pictures with if somebody they've met online and call a friend. Then the person requests for your nude or semi-nude picture and you share with such a person. If you do that, if they do that, means they are not saying safe online. So these are some of the few cautions we want to give to our young people to help them minimize the negative effects of these technologies so that they can benefit from the goods that the technologies are meant to offer. Thank you. Our next item is, so what we just looked at is how the young ones, what precautions they will take to stay safe. Now, we want to look at what measures or precautions should parents put in place to prevent or minimize these negative effects, because this is supposed to be a holistic collaboration. So the young person has a role to play. Parents or guardians also have roles to play. So we are now going to look at what role the parents or what precaution measures parents should put in place to help minimize this effect. We just look at what the young people should be doing. What should parents be doing? Amma, please.
Okay, so I would first of all say that if you want someone to do right by you, you yourself should do right by them. And so as a parent, you should also lead by example. If you don't want your child to be so much into the use of technology or the internet, then you should lead by example. You can't be watching certain content and be telling your child not to. Kids always, or children always do the things they see and not what you say. And if you keep saying it and you are not doing likewise, it looks as if you are contradicting yourself always, and so they wouldn't take you serious. And so as a parent, you would have to lead by example for them to know that this is the reason why I sometimes do this or that, so that they will follow suit. And so as parents, first of all, you should lead by example. And also, you should be willing to have open discussions with your children. Maybe they would go online, see certain content, they would wish to discuss with someone. Be there, give them that safe space for them to discuss these things with you so that you can rectify some of these mistakes that they will see online. But if you guard them, or if you make it so, if you put in a lot of restrictions, and they are not able to come to you with certain discussions, trust me, they will discuss with their friends and the results wouldn't be what we are looking out for. And so give room for open discussions, give room for them to have that kind of discussions with you so that you can help them to rectify certain things they see online. Because for instance, children think that if someone is having a lot of likes on social media, that person is a celebrity automatically. But it doesn't happen like that. There are people that are doing so well online, and you would see that they have few likes, but these are people that are really making impact in the communities or even in the country that we are in. And so you should let them understand these basics when it comes to the use of technology or the internet, so they wouldn't be swayed and do things that they are not supposed to do just so they can get the clicks. And also, like, we sure that your child that is having access to laptop, to phones, and to tablets do also set some screen time for themselves. You should be able to make sure that they have it, so that when it's bedtime, you wouldn't find them still playing with their gadgets, because we've already said that it has the possibility of disrupting your sleep. And so if you want to ensure that they have good sleep, because students, you need sound sleep so that you can even absorb whatever that you are being taught in school. And so you should ensure that you also put in these screen times for them to guide them when it comes to their usage of the internet or technology. And also there are some applications that you can put on your child's gadget that can also streamline things for them. We have the Apple, I think Apple Screen Time, and then Google Family Link or something like that. And you can also search online for apps that you can use to control the things that your children watch online. So I think these are some of the few things that I can come up with when it comes to the measures that parents can put in place to ensure that their children do not go overboard when it comes to the usage of technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Theodora, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doc. So Amma have said most of them. So I would like to add on to what she has said. So parents should also encourage and promote alternative hobbies and quality times. At first, during our time, there will be family time, watching TV, playing or worry, Ludo and family time. They are family time. But this time, you see that you go to a home or a place and you see that at a particular time, everybody is glued to her phone or laptop or anything. So I think we should promote family time, a time around 7 or 8 or at a particular time. Maybe a family will decide, okay, everybody will put his or her phone down. We are doing these physical activities. We are playing Ludo, we are doing cards, we are doing a lot of things. When it happens like that, it also will help to regulate the screen time because the young person knows that, okay, I won't spend almost all the day or all the time on my phone. I'll have time with my parents. And with this open discussion, there'll be open discussion. If they have any issue bothering them, during that time, they are able to open up to their parents to seek more advice and counseling from them. And also with the app that Amma said, I think parents can also link their email address to their son's app. So that they will monitor whatever or any site that their children or their young people are going to. And with this, when the parents realize that, okay, you've gone to a site that wasn't good, I think they will be able to talk to them not to go to that site again. They will be able to control or monitor any site that they go. And also, the parents should also educate their children on safe internet use, like the signs. And if someone is asking you, do this, oh, what's your house number? Give me your house location. What work does your parents do? Some of these things, we have to educate our children on the safety measures when someone is interacting on social media. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you brought up good measures that parents should put in place. So I would like to add a few. And I think there should be ground rules. Parents should set ground rules even before we hand over these technologies, these tools. Before we hand over smart devices to our children, there should be ground rules. For instance, you don't have the phone yet. I'm going to buy you the phone. So my number one ground rule I set is that, which I apply in my home. Before you sleep, you hand over that device to me. You hand over, you have no business sleeping with your phone. If it is an alarm, people will say, oh, they'll use their phone to set an alarm. We can buy them an alarm clock. So you can use the phone for whatever the child or the adolescent, because adolescents are still under our care. They are young people that are transiting. They are not grown-ups. So we should still oversee the things they do. So you are an adolescent. I am buying the phone for you. So there should be ground rules. Before you sleep, that phone, you need to hand it over to me, so that at least I can be sure that for that 7 hours or 8 hours you are supposed to be sleeping, you slept. So such ground rules should be set before such technologies or tools are handed over to them. I don't think we have to put television in the rooms of our children. I still don't understand why sometimes we think the room that our children sleep in, there should be television. It's not about affordability that, oh, we can afford, so we should do, but it's about the good it's supposed to provide. So there is television in children's room. I wish sure that when we are sleeping, the children are sleeping. So we may be fast asleep because we know we have to sleep as adults, but our children sleeping, they may be up up to 2 a.m. or when you think they have gone to sleep, maybe you check on them at night and they are sleeping. They know these children are smart. These adolescents are smart. These young people are smart. They know when you are fast asleep, they will get up and on this TV. And by daybreak, you think your child slept and they didn't sleep for the required number of hours that are needed. So I think these are some basic ground rules that should be put in place before technologies are handed over to our children. We should also let them know the do's and don'ts online, because there are a lot of things that go online that we should let our children know. Most of the time, they are naive. They are naive to these things. So as a parent, before you hand over smart gadget or a smart device to your child, you need to orient that child to know the do's and don'ts online. I think Odora or one of you mentioned that there are certain things they shouldn't do online. We are not accepting unknown friend requests. Sometimes people go online and people start trolling them. If a child goes online and having this negative experience or being trolled at, what is the child supposed to do? Is he supposed to fight back? Is he supposed to insult back? So we should be able to orient our children what they should do. We should also let them know what to expect. So basically what I'm trying to say is that before we hand over these tools and technologies, which is allowing our children to have access to internet, we should train them. We should let them know what to expect and how to handle these things online. Plus, they're also telling us their experience, because whatever they experience online, they will have to take some action before they come and tell us. So you go online, you see a link. You don't click on that unknown link before you come and tell me you saw a link and click. We should let them know that you shouldn't click on unknown links. Then you can let us know that this is what you saw and this is the action you took. So parents should take up that responsibility of training our children, of orienting our children, to let them know the do's and don'ts online before we hand over technologies to them in the first place. We should also, I think one of you mentioned, encourage them to talk to us when they have problems, because we know young people don't like talking to their parents. Sometimes they prefer talking to their peers, and we all know their advice or the solution they get from their peers are usually not the best. So we should encourage them to talk to us. Parental control features, I think you both mentioned it. So most parents don't even know that there are parental control features on the smart devices that they could activate in order to monitor what their children do online. So parents should be aware of this. They should know that there are parental control features on this smart device. Even on television, there are TV channels we could block to prevent our children from having access to it, and then leave those channels that it's safe for them to view. So these are all controls that parents to take responsibility of to help our children stay safe online. I also want to add that if our children decide to put on a password on their device, I am the parent here, I bought the device for you. I should have that password, and I should be able to demand for your phone and see what you're doing there. Maybe you want to put a password there because you don't want your friends. So I don't even see the need of a password in the first place for a young adolescent who has a phone for maybe communicating purposes or for research work. But if the person decides to put a password on it, then I, the parent, should have access to that password. And I should be able to, at random, ask for your phone and see what you do on it. We should be responsible for them and help them do what is right. So sometimes we feel, oh, he's okay, he's grown, let's give him some privacy. At what age are we supposed to give them the privacy? So we should be able to know, are you leaving your child at 15 years, at 14 years, at 16 years, saying that, oh, I don't want to get into his or her private life? Is that the right thing? Is that what you want to do? As a parent, there should be no privacy between you and your teenage child. That is what I think. Until we are able to usher them safely from this transition period, which is adolescence, into the adulthood, we should take responsibility for all that they do. And just as Amma said, we ourselves should be doing the right thing. If we do the right thing, we have the moral rights, the moral courage to also demand from them to do the right thing. So that's a little I would like to add. Parents should look out for these things and make sure they do it right for their children. Let's look at the next item on the table. So we just looked at how parents would, what measures parents should put in place to help them. Now, how would parents help their children who are addicted to these technologies? How would they? So in this case, the addiction has happened. The child is addicted to the technology, addicted to social media, addicted to internet. Maybe we didn't get it right and then addiction has happened. How do we get parents to help their children out of this addiction? Theodora, let me start with you this time.
Okay, thank you. So a parent can seek professional counseling if they see that their children are addicted to social media, internet, or screens. And also we have to be a role model, as Amma said, to our children. We shouldn't be glued to our phone throughout the day. From work, we'll be with our phone throughout, even whilst we are eating, we will be looking through our phones. With this, the children or adolescents will know that, okay, as far as my parents are doing this, then me too, I can do the same. So we have to be a role model to our parents to limit the screen time. Also, some parents can watch TV throughout the night without falling asleep. They will watch out till daybreak. With this, the children will say, oh, as far as my parents are not asleep, then I want to be with my mom, I want to be with my dad, I'll be with them. So we have to be a role model to them. And also we have to replace this screen time with activities, as we've already said. We are going for outing, we are going for games, we are going for swimming. With when you are doing all these, we are able to identify their talent. So these are some of the measures that we can put in place when we realize that our children have to use social media and screen time.
Thank you. Amma, kindly take a bite.
Okay, so just like every other addiction, I would say that as a parent of a child or of an adolescent that is addicted to the use of technology and all these things that we are discussing, it wouldn't be advisable, or I wouldn't encourage you to take them off it immediately or at once. You would need to do it gradually. If they are on it, if they binge on it for like hours, you might have to reduce it gradually. You can't do it at once when it comes to helping your child in this addiction phase. You would have to do it gradually. Now, when you realize that it has become severe and it is out of your capacity, then you involve the help or the support of professionals. There are people that have been trained to help people that are addicted. And so you would have to let your child go through either a therapy or counseling. And so it is not something that you can take to your pastor for them to pray it out of your child. You can pray as well. I mean, it's a holistic approach. And so you can pray as well. But then we are not going to take that professional bit out of it. And so, and it is expensive. So you better make sure your child doesn't get to that stage where a session can cost like 250 Ghana cedis and even more. So you'd have to make sure that your child doesn't get to that phase. And like Theodora said, you can gradually introduce them to offline activities that can also engage their minds. And if there are people or there are peers that have been able to come out of this phase, this addiction or addictive phase, you can let your child also join these groups to have a chit chat with them, jojo with them, discuss with them how they were able to come out of this addiction phase. And I believe that through the support group, they will be able to also help themselves out. Yeah, so this is what I can say when it comes to the addiction on social media or technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I also share the same thought. I mean, when we think the child is addicted to the technology or the tool, whilst we try to reduce its use or take it away from them gradually, we should replace it with another activity. You cannot say the child is addicted to the screen the whole day. The child is on the iPad, he's been on iPad for weeks, for months, get addicted. Then we take it out and say, I've taken this from you. There, the child will get, some will even get mental breakdown. So whilst we take it or we plan to take it, we should find an alternate replacement to that. So if the child was on this device usually throughout the day, the period that you are taking it out, you should make sure that that period you have sign up the child on another activity so that he or she is not yet there, device has been taken away and she is there. It can lead to mental and emotional breakdown. So, but we need to replace it with an activity that is interesting so that they don't see that vacuum is not created. So replacing that vacuum with another thing, and gradually you reduce the amount of time they spend on the screen whilst replacing with other activities. And you have mentioned a lot of those activities. And the seeking of professional help is important. So they can see the clinical psychologists, they do well with some of these addictions. So if a parent is watching this video or get to watch this video and think, oh, my child is addicted, who do I see? The clinical psychologists are people you will see to help you with the addictions, to help the child come out of such addiction. Thank you. The next item is about what governments can do. So we started this conversation gradually from the individual perspective, from the child, from the mother. So now we are broadening it because, as we said, it's supposed to be a holistic and a collaborative way of solving this canker, if we want to term it such. So what can government do? Is there anything government and policymakers can do to prevent or minimize the negative effects of these technologies and tools? Do we think government has a place here? Policymakers, do we think they have a place? Is there anything they can do to help? So Dora, the way you are laughing, tell us.
Okay. The government have a role to play in this. It is not only parents and guardian affair. The government also have a role to play in this. So they should regulate the harmful content and promote safe online platforms. So if they realize that NCA sees or realize that, oh, this particular station is showing content that are not adolescent friendly or youth friendly at a particular time, they can collect their license from them. And it has happened. There have been a law that, within a particular period, I think in the morning or in the evening, I've forgotten the exact time, particular adverts shouldn't be shown on our television. You see, so when all this also applies to online activities, it will also help as the government to regulate and minimize this negative impact on them. And also, they should we should implement digital literacy programs in schools. When there are a lot of literacy activities in school, the child will only come home to also continue to watch online activities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll ask this.
Okay, so when policymakers realize that certain content are not wholesome for the citizens or the people of the country to consume, I think they can also regulate the algorithm in their favor so that we wouldn't have to meet those content at all. The same thing can be done in every other country. They realize that the things that the children are consuming isn't good for them, they can streamline it just so it wouldn't harm the children. And just like Theodora said, digital literacy programs is very important, not just with the schools, but even the platforms that are available to us. We can also leverage on it and then educate these young ones so that they would know what they are up against or what they are using and how to even use it well. And also government should be willing to sponsor programs that are looking out for anxiety or depression that these social media platform poses on these young ones. And I think that it will help a lot because we already established the fact that what some of the negative impacts or disadvantages of these technology or using technology or the internet is having mental health issues. And so if people are willing to work on these things or address these negative impacts, then the policymakers should also be willing to sponsor these programs so that children that are already depressed or anxious can learn a thing or two and know how best they can come out of that particular issue. So that is what I can say. And also, I believe that we can have age restrictions in there just so that children cannot have access to certain content. And I will still go back to the algorithm. And so when they are building maybe an app, a software, anything like that, they can put in the age restrictions in there so that children cannot be able to have access to certain content that is not good for them. When you go on, I think almost all the platforms, they do have certain content that they do not allow, but sometimes it actually isn't that true, or it doesn't actually make sense. In that, when you take an app like TikTok, for instance, they would tell you that you're not supposed to mention these words because children are watching. You're not supposed to do these things, but they still allow challenges, like they call it challenge. Gen Zs have a lot of challenges, so they will say this challenge and this teleportation challenge I'm talking about is so unwholesome. But TikTok is allowing it and it is giving a lot of people the follows and the likes that they need. And so even though they give in some restrictions, we should ensure that it is really helping and it's not just a policy that they've added to their terms and conditions just so they can escape certain sanctions. So we should ensure that age restrictions and then strict age restrictions are verified in the applications or the platforms that we work with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, please, I would like to add something to it.
Sheila, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Ghana Health Service adolescent unit have an app called YMK. So this app also helps adolescents to share their problems, or if they have issues that they don't know whom they should talk to. This app is there to share their issues with counselors, counselors, to help them come out of any challenges that they are going through. So I'll encourage every adolescent or every parents to download the YMK app for their children or for themselves so that they can interact with counselors on that platform. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That's true. That's true. And it's very important because on that platform, the counselors there are trained, people are trained to offer correct information to the youth, to the adolescents. So we should use it. I just want to talk about
a quick one.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's
a quick one. Maybe one of these days we can have a session that talks extensively about the YMK app. But that is when they are done with the new version, because they are still building a new version.
Good.
When it's done, maybe we can use your platform to also talk about it.
Good. Amma, when it's done, just let me know. When it's done, just let me know. And we will have a session on that to educate the public, educate adolescents who are not aware, educate parents to use it. So just let me know as soon as.
I think it's a free counseling. It's a free counseling too, because you go and pay a counselor this one will be a free counselor. Yeah.
And you are getting authentic and correct
Professional counseling.
professional
Yeah,
counseling.
professional counselors. Yeah.
So it's something that we should all take advantage of. So about the age restriction on these virtual platforms, I think they are there, but these young people have a way of going around it. So they ask of the age range. Someone is 12 or 10, but we're still putting there that he or she is 20 or 18, just to allow him sign in. So these are some of the things these virtual platforms, there is a limitation. I don't know how they would get that, scrutinize that to make it more firm to ensure that people, but these young people go around it somehow. But we want to take this opportunity to advise them. Young people, adolescents, please, some of these things are for your own good. When the platform says this age restriction, if you're not in that age bracket, don't just lie just to get in there, because at the end of the day, what you're going there to do may not help you. If it was going to help you, they would not put restriction. So this is an advice going to our young people. I also want to talk about government support to NCA. Theodora mentioned NCA, the National Communication Authority. Government should support the NCA. For me, I'm looking at basic support, basic strategy. So if government will support NCA to design programs that would educate our young people on regular basis, educate them on regular basis. This is not something that will be done once and said we did it. As it should educate them on regular basis on the dangers or negative effects of these technologies, i.e. internet, social media, and the like. So if we have NCA offering education at regular intervals or on regular basis to our young people, I think it will serve as a reminder for them to know that, oh, we are here enjoying all the things internet can offer, but if we do other things that are negative, these are the consequences we are likely to face. So government should support NCA to develop programs that will educate our young people. They should also develop programs that will educate parents as well. Like we said, this is not something that is a one-man job. It's a collaborative effort. It is a holistic effort that can, it's a holistic effort and collaborative effort that can help help this menace. So parents should also be educated. Some parents don't even know. We're just talking about parental control features on these smart devices and tools. Some parents don't even know. They are not aware of it. So if we get NCA also designing programs to educate parents on how they can even monitor their children, how they can even use these parental control features to monitor their children or to help them stay safe, I think it will help. One thing I know is that young people, or most people, will do the right thing when they know they are being monitored. When a young person knows that he or she is being monitored, the person will do the right thing. When they know that nobody is looking out for them, they are not being monitored, they have the free will to do what they want, they go on and do what they want, and eventually it doesn't help. So we have to be intentional.
No.
We have to be intentional about most of the things, or yes, a lot of the things we want to do to help our young ones. We need to be intentional about it. So this is what I want to add about what government can do and policymakers. Government has to be intentional to help our youths in this regard. Theodora, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So with the NCA, they can go to schools because some young people don't have access to the phones or the online or the other gadgets. But it takes one day for them to go there to get access to this internet or social media or other stuff. So the NCA can go to schools, churches, mosques to educate their children on how to go about when they get access to the internet. So it shouldn't be only, the education shouldn't only be for those who have access to the internet, So their education shouldn't only be on the social media, on the television. It should be a physical interaction for them to know that, okay, when I get access to internet, or when I get access to online content, this is what I should do. These are what I'm not supposed to do, and it will help. Yeah, thank you.
That's true. So with this, they need support. NCA will always say they need, to go to schools, to go to churches, they need primary vans, they need. So government has to support them. The organization is there, they are ready to work, but sometimes the means becomes a challenge. So government, we are reaching out to you to help our NCAs to help our youth in this regard. And that would also fulfill what we just said, that before we hand over these technologies and tools to our children, we should orient them. We should let them know what to expect. We should let them know the do's and don'ts, and we should let them know how to go about it when they meet it. I think it is important. So NCA needs support in this regard, so that yes, our young people can be helped. Most of them are naive. They get access to these gadgets, and they go online, and boom, they are flooded with all kinds of things. And some are actually happy when they see people sending them friend request. Hey, I've got a friend. You don't know the person, you're happy. You don't know the person. People are happy when the naive ones, when they are getting a lot of friend requests, they are happy. So they have to accept. So we should let them know that when you go online and people are sending you friend requests, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you a star. It's not your advantage. So you don't have to accept them if you don't. We have to let them know the do's and don'ts, what to expect, and how to get around it when they go online before they even have access to these gadgets. That is what I think. Thank you. So let's look at our next item. It says, so this is our individual, thoughts we're taking on this. At what age do you think children or adolescents should own smart devices? And we brought in children here because we know, adolescents start from age 10, right? 10 to 19 is adolescent, but there are children who are younger than 10, 6, 5. They own iPads, they own iPhones. So children are here. So at what age do we think? This one, we are going to take our individual thought and see whether we will cross somewhere. I have an age I think they should. I want to take this. If you've come across any documented age to you, let us know. If you've seen it, but at what age do you think children should own? Own means it is yours. It's different if I have my phone and say, oh, my son can receive a call on it or can call his friend. It's not his phone. He doesn't own it. But when I have to hand over that phone to him, I bought him, when I have to buy him a phone, I say, okay, this is a phone I bought for you, it's yours. At what age do you think this young one should own a smart device, phone, iPad, anything, laptop that they can call your theirs? At what age should they own? Theodora, please, what do you think?
Doc, this is individual differences.
Yes.
And I think it shouldn't only based on age, but it should be based on maturity. You know that, oh, my child is able to handle phone. My child is able to control his or her emotions. Like when you see that your child is so mature to handle phone, because a child can be 12 years, 14 years, 15 years, 17 years, but not really matured. Even if someone asks her to send him or her to send any new picture or anything, your child will do it. So we should check the maturity of our child before we hand the phone to them. The maturity, I think by 12, 13, 14, within the 12, 14 years, you see that maybe the child is so mature to handle phones. So for me, I'll take 12 to 14 years. And plus, when I say that he or she is mature, it will be a plus thing for me.
Okay, so I would say that when the children are in their teens, based on the advantages or benefits that we mentioned earlier, even though it has its side effects, it is also serving a purpose, which is very good for the children. When it comes to academics, they can use it to help themselves, to solve their questions and all that. And so I would say that when they get to their teens, the teens going, you can let your child have access to these tools, but then again, strict supervision so that they do not overdo things. Yes, that is what I can say.
Okay. So I think I'll go with the teens too. I'll go with the teens, and also to add that we should prepare them. I think it's the same thing you are saying. We should prepare them and let them know what to do and what to expect, and then handle it right. So that should work. The most important thing is that we should prepare them to do the right thing, and also keep monitoring and supervising what they do. Good. So we'll now with last two items. Has any adolescent or young person shared his or her negative experiences with you, negative experiences they've had online with you before, and how did you handle it? If you have had the opportunity to listen to somebody's experience, how did you handle it? Amma, please.
Recently, we were having a live session on X on sexual abuse, SGBV. And we were talking about social media and how people can use it to perpetuate sexual abuse. And we made mention of certain factors. And a girl mentioned that she didn't know all those things that people were sending to her were sexual abuse content. She didn't know. And so I think that was the only instance that an adolescent or a youth was sharing her experience with me when it comes to negative online experiences. Yes.
So what did you do to help out? What? Yeah.
Yes, so it was an educational program. So at the end of the show, she knew what to do. We were telling them the things to do, and I think we've mentioned some earlier, ensuring that you block that person because the person was sharing content on harmful content with her. So we told her that when you get certain content, you should be able to report that user. You should be able to block the person, and you can't also exchange words with the person because most of the time these are they are fraudsters. And so there's no need for you to even exchange words or let them know that you don't like this or that. Just report it and then let the app developers do their own thing. And also from your end, you can block them just so they don't have access to you again. So that was what we discussed with.
Have you ever had any personal negative online experience? And how did you handle
yes, a lot of times. A lot of people have been sharing their nudes with me. I don't know their inspiration, but they feel free to share certain content with me that that are so unwholesome. And I actually don't have that patience to, jojo with you because as an adult, I expect you to know better. So the best thing I'll do is to just block you. And even on my status, if I post something and your reply is not good, I'll block you because I am too lazy to exchange words with you. I don't have that time. So I'll just block you. Yes, I think you should know better. We are old enough to know that certain things are not welcome. So you shouldn't feel free. Personally, I've had an experience like that, and I would just block you, and then that would be it. I wouldn't unblock you back, no matter what you say.
With you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know whether, yes, any young person or adolescent has shared any negative online experiences and how did you handle it? If you've not had it, that's fine.
No.
You've not had anybody come in share with you what But so you in person, have you ever had any negative experience online?
Yeah, online. There was this woman who called me. I think I was at work, and he said, "Oh, hey, this person, so and so. I'm calling you like I'm in abroad. I'm calling you." And he asked me where I am. So I wanted to entertain. I wanted to see the outcome of that conversation. And I was at work, and she asked me, "Oh, what work do you do?" So I sell tomatoes. Oh, then the woman said, "Okay, go and stand somewhere so that I talk to you so that nobody will hear the conversation that I'm having with you. Because he thought that, oh, when someone hears that I'm talking with someone who is in abroad, he will think, oh, don't talk to that person. And this woman wanted me to go and stand somewhere to talk to her. And said, oh, she's sending something to her daughter at Kaswa, and she's trying to reach her. She's not getting her. So I should give my money to a delivery, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I block her. I block her because sometimes, the more you talk to them,
Yeah,
they might get you.
They're able to persuade you. That's true.
Yes.
That's
So
true.
the earlier the better. You just block them and you move on. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so let me take that last 2 bites on my side. Then we'll do that. We'll take the final words. You can bring your advice in there. So with young people having negative online experience, I have had some talking to me about it, and this is common. So you have this young adolescent girl who thought older men were pursuing her. They were pursuing her, trying to lure her into relationship. And this is common. So, of course, obviously, what I told her was that she should ignore. Initially, that's what I told her. Just ignore him. If he sends you messages, don't reply. Just ignore. But then if he continues, I told her if he upon ignoring him, if he's still persistent, he should just block him. And then this was actually somebody who was even known to the family. It was supposed to be a family friend or something like that. So, well, I told her that she could also report to her parents because I mean this is a family friend who has tend to now be pursuing you, a teenager, for a relationship. Ignore the gentleman. Probably if you ignore him, he will stop. If he doesn't stop, block him and report him. So that was the advice I gave. And then I've also had instances where young people are complain of having this explicit materials popping on their screen when they go online. These are people who they don't go visiting such sites, but they will go online trying to do their research for their academics. Then all of a sudden, boom, they get some, link pop on their screen. They click and it takes them somewhere. So obviously, I told them don't click on any site. Don't click on any link that comes on your screen because you click, see where it sends you. So don't click. If any link pops up on your screen, just delete it. Or sometimes I understand the more you even want to delete, it will not even delete. By the time you realize it's open, it's a problem. So they want to delete it, won't delete, then it still opens up on them. So those are and this is worrying because you can imagine you hand over this to your child, and in your mind, this is not what you're expecting, and they get exposed to it. Genuinely not by their fault. Genuinely they didn't go looking for, but it just came on their screen and they are exposed to it. So it's a problem. Myself, I have had you people, you haven't had these malams on Facebook share.
Local numbers.
Hey, these malams on Facebook sending friend requests. Hey, you go and look at. So usually, when I see a friend request, honestly, when try and see the profile, who that person is. I want to see the picture and see whether I know the person. Hey, you go there, you see that malam, it's a malam be sitting by money and pot of this thing, and you try to read the whatever, the background information. I can make you rich, you can go abroad, you haven't. So when I became regular on Facebook, I was getting almost every week one malabi. So I was it wasn't the same person. So initially I used to just delete the friend request. I said that the time will come again. So at the point, this was when I became regular on Facebook. So I didn't even know how to go about these things. At the point I realized, okay, I could actually block and then delete. So when I blocked and delete, then they don't have access to send the request again. I had like maybe 4 or 5 different ones. But after I blocked it, okay. So okay, so like I said, I just blocked them. I blocked them and they delete. And now, so those are some of the personal online experience I had, and it kept me wondering. And it in fact, I became worried because I was like, because young people can easily be swayed, to follow. Because if you read that, if you read the things they've written on their background, whatever it's called, they will write, I can help you pass your exams without learning. I can let you go abroad. I can help you to become rich. And these are things a lot of young people are looking for. People who don't want to learn, but they will pass their exams. No one has ever said learning is not easy. You have to learn, and it will go into your skin, then pass. But this is telling you they will let you pass your exams without learning. They will make you rich. And I became worried because I always thought a young person, a teenager, can easily just go and follow this person. And we can imagine the demands, like you were saying, that they will be making. Bring this, bring that, bring that. It's actually got me worried. And I had to let my son see. So I remember those times, initially when I blocked 1 or 2 and the third one came, I left it. I said I wanted, so this time I blocked, but I didn't delete. So when I came, I called my son to come and see. Then I showed him, I said, these are the things you meet on Facebook. Because it's things like this, if you don't take care, you'll be attracted to. So I had to caution him. So I think we should do that as parents for our young ones and let them know. That's why I said what they should expect. You have to let them know what they should expect before they even see, so that when they see, they will know that, oh, my parent told me that I am likely to see this, meet this when I go online. And here it is. This is how I was taught to handle it, and it helps. Thank you. So we are at that last point that you have to give your final words to the adolescent and the young people. You were giving us some beautiful advice. We would like to take it here, Theodora.
Yeah. So I was saying that, should in case someone asks you to meet him or her somewhere, you have to let your parents or your elderly siblings get to know where you are going, because some will tell you that, oh, meet me here. Don't tell anybody, because if somebody gets to know that you are going to this particular place, the person will not let you go. So they will convince you not to tell anybody, and you will keep it to yourself. Even it will take some time. It won't be one day. It will take a month or weeks. So with that, you will see that, okay, then if I tell my parents or my elderly brother or sister myself, and you go and maybe they will kidnap you. So wherever you are going to meet someone, let someone know where your whereabouts. And you shouldn't keep things to yourself. And you have to speak out. If someone is bullying you on the social media, you have to speak out. Talk to an elderly person for you to get the support that you need. You shouldn't always say that, oh, you also speak back, or you also insult the person on social media. As Amma said, it will come back to you. The internet doesn't forget. You will get to a position, and now even you apply for something and they will ask you for your social media handle. They want to know what you are doing there. Whether what you are doing is good or bad, it will, whatever it is, will even let you get a job or get you an opportunity or not. So we should be very careful as an adult and as adolescent. You should be very careful what we put on social media, because it will come back to us, as the internet doesn't forget. And we should let the technology work for us and not control us. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Very, very good advice. Thank you very much, Theodora. Thank you. Give us your final words.
Okay. All right. So, what I can say is that, dear adolescents, dear young ones, technology has come to stay. It is a very, very powerful tool, very, very good tool that I can personally attest to it. I've had a lot of good friends online. I've had a lot of good connections online. I've had a lot of, recognition online based on the things that I am doing. And so you can be known for all the right reasons. So leverage on the fact that technology has come to provide you with vast opportunities, and then use it to your benefit. Do not look at what the majority is doing. The clout is there, but remember that you have a future. And we always say that the internet never forgets. So you might think you are young enough and you might do away with certain things, or maybe what is the word? You can have your fun, but then again, remember that you don't know what the future holds for you, and it will be so sad that you will be the vice president or the president, and people will go back to dig in your past and bring things that you used to do online against you. And trust me, it can go a long way to affect you. And so social media or the technology is like fire. It can serve the master and it can also destroy the master. So please use it and use it well. And I know that it would be of great benefit to you and then to your future as well. Thank you very much for having me.
So my last word was same what you have said. The same I'm going to say. So young people know that social media and internet are here to stay. Let's make sure we stay safe when we go online. Make sure we are minimizing, we are taking steps and all the precautions we have discussed here to minimize the negative effects of these technologies and tools, whilst we benefit from the good they have to offer us. Thank you. Viewers, we've come to the end of another episode of today's discussion. I believe we've all been well informed and we have benefited from this discussion. Kindly share this video when you come across it with all your contacts. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed to it. Remember to also turn on your notification bell so that when we post the video, you will be notified to look at it. Our next topic for discussion, I would always want to introduce the next topic for discussion because it keeps us anticipating and looking forward to what is next. Our next topic for our next episode would be importance of sleep for our youth and adolescent development. Importance of sleep for our youth and adolescent development. We realize that sleep came up big in this discussion. Internet and social media are not allowing most of our youth to sleep. They don't sleep, some don't sleep, most don't sleep. They stay online for long hours and have less hours of sleep. In our next discussion, we want to look at the effects on the brain, the effects on the body, the effects on the well-being of the young person when you don't have enough sleep. So that will be the next topic for our discussion. Thank you for staying with us. See you soon. Bye-bye.